Well, good morning, everyone. Time to rise and shine. It is just after 6 a.m. on your Friday morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis. Let's get started on this Friday with a look at the forecast with meteorologist Thomas Patrick, because Thomas, you're telling us about a beautiful weekend ahead. I love this.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And listen, I can hear that word once again, Friday.
Woo.
It's Friday, and the weather is going to be amazing for today. What a finish to the week. And that sunshine is already out. The skies appear to be clearing even by the minute right now. It is a little bit on the cool side. We're at 52 degrees. If you need a light jacket for another hour, I don't blame you there. It's also 43 in northeastern Washington, from 43 in Deer Park to Colville as well. Lots of upper and mid 40s in North Idaho. So a bit on the cool side for another hour or two, but going to warm up into the 70s easily today.
Today, President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will be back on the campaign trail following their first presidential debate of 2024 last night. The 90-minute event gave voters a chance to compare the candidates ahead of the election this November. Jared Hill is in Atlanta with a recap of the night and reactions.
In a presidential debate rematch 4 years in the making, a stark contrast in style and tone.
People are coming in and they're killing our citizens.
So what we had to do is try to put things back together again.
Out of the gate, President Biden's voice faltered.
We brought out
The 81-year-old spoke quietly and several times seemed to lose his train of thought.
If we finally beat Medicare.
Mid-debate, his campaign said he was fighting a cold.
On January 6th, we were respected all over the world.
Trump's performance was bombastic, but the 78-year-old's statements were frequently false.
He's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby.
The presumptive Republican presidential nominee also avoided answering many questions. Moderators had to ask 3 times if he'll accept the outcome of the election.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely.
The candidates lobbed personal attacks at each other repeatedly.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now.
He could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office.
Muting the microphones helped the moderators get to a number of key topics like abortion rights, the economy, and immigration. The only real heated back and forth between the candidates was about their golf games.
That's the biggest lie, that he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was at 8 handicap.
Yeah.
As Americans watched across the country, undecided voters we heard from said the debate didn't help them make up their minds.
I wish it would have.
Unfortunately, no. It didn't really add a lot of new information.
The next presidential debate, September 10th. Jared Hill, CBS News, Atlanta.
And coming up at 6:35 on Up with KREM, both President Biden and former President Trump make claims on the stage about the economy, abortion, and drug prices. Our National Verified team digs into if they are true in our next half hour. This morning, Spokane Police say they have arrested a suspect in a deadly shooting that happened on Tuesday. SPD's major crime unit took 23-year-old Wyatt Comer into custody last night. He is suspected of shooting and killing a person near the Serrano North and South apartments. Comer was booked into the Spokane County Jail on second-degree murder charges. Meanwhile, in an executive session on Wednesday night, the Spokane Public School Board decided not to put a $200 million bond back on the November ballot. The decision was made citing unchanged public opinion, the city's potential tax measure, and low positive support.
This whole process has been frustrating. Yeah, again, knowing that the bond failed, and we aren't working on the schools that are ready to be worked on.
The board president also says the next steps will be deciding what type of bond package to offer the public, including a potential decrease in the amount. We might not see the bond return to the ballot until February of next year. Well, in the meantime, the city of Spokane is introducing 2 measures that they say will help chip away at the $50 million budget deficit, including asking some police officers to retire. Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown is proposing to activate a voluntary retirement incentive to all eligible Spokane police officers. She's also requiring all cabinet members to take 2 mandatory furlough days by the end of the year. Well, the 4 finalists for the Spokane Police Chief job met face-to-face with members of the public last night as the city now looks to find the next person to lead the department. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy was at last night's public forum and joins us with what the finalists had to say.
The mayor wanted to hold this forum so members of the public could meet the candidates face-to-face.
They're from different parts of the country and are hoping to be the next chief of police. I spoke with one community member about something he wants to see in whoever gets the job.
She's being my assistant.
I hope that there's more of a community dialogue on which one of these candidates the community feels is appropriate.
Anwar Peace is a member of the Washington Coalition of Police Accountability. He's one of many who attended a public forum at the Spokane Public Library downtown this week, wanting to know how the prospective new police chief will solve an issue of officers' actions Peace believes could have been avoided.
For me personally, I want to know what candidates feel how they're going to address having multiple officers on the force that have multiple killings under their belt.
The four candidates, Kevin Hall, Matthew Murray, Tom Worthy, and Kathleen Lanier, all spoke about the issues they feel are vital to address if becoming chief. Assistant Chief of the Tucson Police Department, Kevin Hall, says the screening process is important, particularly as each department can vary in what's accepted.
What does your training curriculum look like? What does your field training officers look like? What do your sergeants look like? All of that has an impact on how that person's going to police and the accountability, the self-accountability they're going to have throughout the rest of their career.
Chief of the Yakima Police Department, Matthew Murray, says accountability among the police department isn't possible without open transparency that he says his department utilizes.
I think that providing data and making sure people can see everything, like the flock camera system, is something I really advocate for. Every single one of those hits is on our webpage and you can look it up. And I think that that's really important.
The Dalles Chief of Police, Tom Worthy, says the key to accountability in the community is making sure all sides of a case are heard.
And let the public have a voice. That's a core foundation of good criminal justice, is that even a suspect, the community, we're here to protect and represent them, that they have a voice in our operations.
And Colonel Kathleen Lanier with the Memphis Police Department says the power the chief has is something she is conscious of and would keep that in mind if given the authority, particularly with officers with misdemeanors on their record.
If someone was caught shoplifting, got their record expunged, they can let them come on the job. But I have a problem with that type of thing, though they have any type of criminal past. But it'll be vetted case by case.
Each candidate heard from the community, and in Peace's case, he hopes there'll be more opportunities for the public to voice their concerns as the candidates for chief are getting fewer.
We're really looking forward to having a change come into this community, and hopefully this police leadership will be that change agent.
Now from here, candidates will be meeting with members of the police department on Friday. After that, Mayor Lisa Brown will be gathering input from the community and officers and make the decision on who is the new chief from there. Reporting in studio, I'm Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
The Coeur d'Alene City Council is set to consider a new hate crime ordinance next week. This ordinance would create a separate offense if a person commits a crime such as property damage or disorderly conduct because of a victim's race, gender, or sexual orientation. The move comes after 2 racially motivated incidents in downtown Coeur d'Alene this year. Councilmember Amy Evans says, quote, hateful behavior will not be tolerated in our community.
It is 6:09 and weather conditions are actually quite pleasant right now. The rain and the storms have, for the most part, departed the region, and so too have the winds. And I think that will make today even nicer overall. I can see the sunshine just about to come around the corner here as it does just after 6 o'clock. Now, if there's a leftover shower, it's over far northern Idaho as of this morning, but otherwise we have mostly clear skies at the moment for the inland northwest. And we're not anticipating any rain or storms today. The winds are going to get much calmer, and the temperatures will warm up. 70s today and then 80s for the Hoop Fest weekend.